Hey y'all, this is Church from Church's Intake. So I want to talk about another thing or situation that's going to be coming down the pipeline. It's going to be exposed more and more as time goes on. Um, I've been thinking about it. It might sound a little weird, but it's true. Um, Back in the day when we used to have these Cabbage Patch Kids, they had like a thing like in the 70s or whatever, maybe before the 70s, the 60s or something. But they used to be like Cabbage Patch Dolls or Cabbage Patch Kids, and then they had like the Garbage Pail Kids and stuff like that, right? So if people has been down the rabbit hole, they've been noticing that there was a lot of orphans back in the day, and then they're starting to put two and two together to knowing that the Cabbage Patch Kids were like clones. They came in here. It was like a thing back in the day. So that being said, that means if they were making man-made babies back then in the 70s, because we know that people are cloning people. Like, let's get over it. Like, people are cloning humans, or not real human soul people, but skin suits. And we also now, 2021, for sure, we have pod babies, and those are definitely clones. And the first groups of pod babies, which would be the same thing as these Cabbage Patch Kids or Cabbage Patch babies back in the day, you know what I mean? That means we have soulless beings out here that's growing up with us, going to schools with us, mingling just like, a normal human being with a soul would mingle. And we definitely have those pod babies. Like, they already been doing this in Germany. I already had a video about that, and it's been all in the news already. You just got to search for it, and it's there. But if that being said, that means these pod babies, which would be, some of them be about 3 years old now, you have to know that those are not human beings. And you know that since they're here in existence with us humans that do have souls, like some of us don't have souls, and there's other beings out here on this earth, like, it's stated in the Bible as well. People got to realize, you got to read between the lines and stop, lily-gagging around, stop and being like, oh, this is this you can't understand, like that's not how it is, and they're cloning, they're doing all of these things. It's been like this, and we just got to catch up to the realization of that's why, God will end this earth and start his new earth. But what was the reasoning for it? The reasoning for it is because there will be no more souls to gather. That means there will be a whole population or a whole country, more or less, of soulless beings out here on this earth. Like, that's in the book of Revelations. You can't deny it. What God said. You know what I'm saying? You could sugarcoat it, you can skip past it all you want, but it's truth. And people gonna, try to act like this could not be real, but it's all real. Just like how they have weather manipulation, like people are portraying like they're God. We have human beings out here that's got a God complex that wants to pursue to be gods. And we have to understand that the higher ups are not even human beings. They're entities. They're the fallen angels. Like, they used to govern this earth. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have, the Nephilim. You know what I'm saying? Those are the sons and daughters of the fallen angels. And their spirits are still here on this earth. They don't go nowhere until that day. So That being said, you know, there are people out here that don't have souls. And there's been people here that don't have souls. And you have to understand that's why you see people that don't really comprehend. Like if you see a mass murderer and he be like, dang, he heartless. It's like the Wizard of Oz. The dude, he ain't got no heart. You know what I mean? He ain't got no soul. You know what I'm saying? Like he's heartless because he doesn't understand, because he's not a human being. He's not a human being from God made. That's a human being. God made. You had a human woman and a human man having relations to create another human being with a soul, not a pod baby that you're taking some scientific embryo or whatever they're doing and merging it, and then you sitting something in a tank for 8 months. That's not how it works. That is not pure. You know how they had that movie Blade, Pure Bloods? Like, they not pure bloods. You know? Like the vampires, like, you're not a pure vampire, you know, you're a daywalker. Or whatever, how his Blade was half man and half vamp. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to put these things in perspective, man. And there's going to be talks about it more and more. Like, you know, the enemy is definitely going to start having to expose himself. He wants to expose himself right now. Like, they're going to be talking about the other beings that's around us. It's just a matter of time. They're trying to like string it in little by little, you know, little by little. They're trying to tell you what is going on. But, you know, a lot of people aren't picking up, you know, what they're trying to push out, you know, and they're using the movies, they're using television and things of that nature, you know, even like the news, you know, they tell you about the alien stuff, all these things, so they can condition you to be more accepting of what is to come, what is coming onto this earth that they can't hide anymore. You know what I'm saying? They're not, that's why it's all happening, because they can't hide this any longer, you know? And, I mean, a lot of people going to be very, how do we say that? Baffled, astonished of what has been here. There's going to be more people like myself that's going to be talking about these different entities and beings that are already here. And we're not the only beings on this earth, like human beings. We're not the only creatures out here that, you know, function like the so-called human beings with souls. And God's exposing that. And, you know, he's got his people that's going to start expressing these things more and more. Obviously, people are going to start to see more and more things because the veil has been lifted. It's been lifted. It's been lifted. It's just, some people can see it. Some people can hear it, you know, read between the lines. And a lot of people can't. That's basically what we're at, where we're at. And it just sounds like, you know, like a sci-fi, but it's not. You know, it sounds like a sci-fi movie. You know, like there's other things, there's other creatures, and it's just like, what happened in the beginning? You have to know in the beginning, why was there a flood? It can't just be because of human beings was just defiling themselves. You know what I'm saying? There was other things here causing mass havoc on the earth. Yes, there was giants ripping havoc out here in these streets. This is a fact. There was people dying at mass clips. You know what I'm saying? Because of the giants and different crossbreeding of animals and humans. Doing some wild things. Like, just imagine a angel and a human being, or an angel with another animal. This is what was going on. They was crossbreeding. Like, it's all in the book of Enoch. You know what I mean? People, oh, Enoch is not a real book of the Bible. They don't want you to know the truth. That's why they take out certain books in the Bible. And then when it's time that the truth start to come out and stuff, the veil start to be opened and lifted, now people is like, oh, why ain't God? God's been told people. My people die for lack of knowledge and understanding, because people don't want to take heed, and others want to gatekeep. And that's how it is. People out here just gatekeeping because we got other things that's leading the country, and they don't want to be exposed. And they feel as though if they're on team demonoid, that they're covered, and they're not. We have things out here. So it's just me just trying to make and bring awareness to it. Some people gonna be like, yo, you sound crazy. But when you're one of the first ones to talk about these things, or, to be like, yo, how do you know these things or whatever? It's like, God tells people different things at different times. If you're ready for it, he'll show you things. If you're not ready for it, then, you just gotta wait. And then it might be too late, or, you're just gonna see it right in front of your face last minute, And obviously, some people have to sound the alarm. And the people that are the first fruits that sound the alarm, most of them are labeled crazy. John the Baptist was labeled crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he knew what it was. He knew the Messiah was going to come and these things and stuff like that. So he was labeled the way he was labeled because he was one of the first fruits. We got first fruits, and then we got others, and being a first fruit, or being a first person to sound the alarm about what's going to come, you might sound far off, and people are going to question your sanity maybe at first, but I'm not here to care about anyone thinking I'm insane or anything like that, because I'm very sane, very knowledgeable, and I wouldn't put myself out there, and God wouldn't put me out there on Front Street just to be talking nonsense just so I'm heard or can get likes and clicks. It's not about that. It's actually just bringing awareness to something that's going to be coming very soon. Everybody's like kind of off if you see it. Like, people don't know what's going on. And even the government is just like, they're trying to like condition it a little bit, trying to feed you a little bit of this and a little bit of that. That's why they're trying to up the scale a little bit about we have aliens and an invasion might come, but they're going to be cool with us. Like, they ain't telling you the half of it, bro, sis. They ain't telling y'all the half of what's to come. It's going to get ugly out here. But the exposure has to come so you'll know the truth. And you know God's creation. God created a lot of beautiful things out here. And if you go back to the beginning, God set the flood out here because it was going down in the days of Noah. And they said, what did he say? In the last days it shall be just as the days of Noah. If you know the days of Noah, Enoch was Noah's grandfather or uncle. Grandfather, I think. Grandfather or uncle. I don't want to get that wrong. I believe it's his grandson. Yeah, it's his grandson. So, you know, Enoch was out here. He was talking for and to the fallen angels. They called him the scribe for a reason, because he had the juice. He had that conduit to the Most High. And the angels banged with him heavy. But, and also in that time when Noah made the boat, you know, the ark, there was a lot of different craziness going on. There was a lot of killings, and there was people crying out from under the earth, meaning the dead was crying out to God about revenge from the giants, to get redemption for them killing and slaying them in droves. Now, where you gonna get this at? You ain't gonna get it in them 66 books. You ain't gonna get that knowledge in them 66 books. I'm sorry. You could get it. You can get that knowledge, though. You read that book of Enoch and read a couple other books. You can get this knowledge. The knowledge is here. My people perish for lack of knowledge. That knowledge is known. They don't want you to know that knowledge. That's why they take out books. They rewrite the books. Like, if you looking at the new versions of Bibles now, like, it's not the same. That's why you got to go to old literature, as far back as you can go, and read the literature. Why did they take these books out? Why? If there's so many books, what deemed 66 books being the only books? That should be a question. Like, a lot of people just take it for what it's worth. At hindsight, people aren't studying to show thyself approved. People aren't questioning everything that they see or things that they think they see. God wants you to question things, question everything. You know, put it up on against something. You know what I mean? Don't just even take my words for straight grapefruit. Put it up against the word. The words that I speak, put it up against the word. It's going to come back straight legit. Because I'm not trying to speak anything void. I'm not trying to speak stuff I don't know nothing about. But I'm also not out here trying to speak when I'm not supposed to speak. As in, when God wants me to talk about certain things, you know, there's a level, there's a flow that you need to do or go by when you're doing these type of things. There's a flow. That's why people be like, yo, you doing whatever. Like, how is he not getting the witchcraft thrown on him? How is he still striving? How is my seances? The voodoo priest or the practitioner that I had paid all this money guap to, didn't take this fool out yet. It's because of God, man. And it's the flow of God. They couldn't touch me if they want. They want too heavy. They want too bad, big time bad. They big mad that I be talking because they want me to shut up crazy, but I would never shut up. That'll never happen. You're just going to have to watch and take this smoke. I'm giving it to you. We out here rotisserie. We with the rotisserie, dog. We serving y'all up. Slow roast. Slow roast, dog. Tell them, G-Man, we slow roasting them out here. We fear none of these demons. None of them. But you just can't move any type of way either. I'm not going to be out here boasting and bragging about how you can just move any old type of way, just say any old thing that you want to say. You know, there's a flow. God moves and works in a flow. In the flow, you'll see the flow, because more people are going to start talking about exactly what I'm saying today. It's going to be more evident. You know, it's coming down the pipeline. I'm just like like I said, I'm just like one of those first fruits that don't care about how people think of me talking about something that they don't know nothing about. And that will be other beings. But they tell you that there is other beings, that they're making. Pod babies is a thing. They making it. They made videos of it. Cabbage Patch Kids, they've been here. And that's where they used to have mass orphans. So if I know that there's been Cabbage Patch Kids here, so that means there's 50-year-olds, 60, 40-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 20-year-olds, ain't got souls. I know there's 3-year-olds because of the pod babysitting scenario. Nothing new under the sun. We got the AI thing popping off. You know what I'm saying? Like, God made you smarter than AI. I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna bring something on that AI tick. But yeah, it's coming down the pipeline. So be ready. You know what I mean? There's gonna be a lot of like sci-fi things happening soon, because it's got to get back to the days of Noah. And it was fierce back then, like people think of when it's written, oh, the days of Noah, you're thinking of, oh, you see, your mindset, your mind wants you to comprehend and wants you to think that it was just humans out here. There was way more than just humans out here in the days of Noah. That's a fact. So I'm gonna leave that one right there. This is Church from Church's Intake. God bless.